Greetings and hello, welcome to GoSkate. My name is Joe, and today we are going to talk about loading the board, what that is, and how we use it. So, what is loading? Loading is simply where we put our weight on the board with regards to front and back. Now, I'm going to talk about what it does, how it's applicable to our development, and give you some exercises. Now, these won't be too taxing. Quite casual actually, but they should help with your body awareness and your friendship with your board. So, when we're riding around, ideally, you want to imagine yourself from hips to shoulders as a filled pint glass. So everything's stacked on top of itself. It makes it easier for us to balance, it makes it more efficient for everything that we're doing, and it generally makes it easier to do different things because we're in the middle and ready to go in any direction. You can load the board at the front, neutrally in the middle, or at the back. Front, middle, back. This also helps prevent leaning. If you're leaning when you're skating, provided you're not going up or down anything, or just on the flat, then it normally means you're going to fall over. You spill the glass. So hips to shoulders should be stacked. Let's go over a couple of exercises that you can do that will help you understand how to load the board and also illustrate how important that can be. You can do this on the grass or outside, but I recommend just taking your time and bearing a couple more things in mind. So, firstly, the pee in the bowl. So, if your hips are the center of weight, right, you have until the edge of your foot before your leg starts tipping in and you'll be kicked off. This is provided you're not leaning, because if you lean, then there's a higher chance that you'll go quicker because there's more weight and it'll take you off. So, here's what we have, is the pee in the bowl. This top part is not just an upright pint glass filled to the brim, and if you tip it, it will spill. But you want to see it that your feet are the edge of the plate and that your hips and body is a pea. You can roll the pea right to the outside of the bowl, but you can't take it past. This includes your head and it includes your hip. These things will make you fall. So just take the time to be completely stacked. Not just this way, also you want to be stacked upright this way. Use your legs to bend. Try not to bend with your tushy, with your hips bending down. You want to bend over the top of the board. So here's an example of, just to show you how it works. So firstly, you want to take your foot, and if you're on a normal skateboard, just as far out as you can, and just load the front and try and lift it by lifting this leg. Don't lean back. What you're doing is just lifting this leg. If you load the board so your body is over the front, it'll be real hard. Slowly, without moving your feet, pull your hips back until you meet the wheels. So when you look down, you should see the wheels, and it should make the front of the board very, very light. With your foot positioning, you just want your back foot right on the tail, squarely on the tail, and your front foot, for this exercise, as far as you can forward. And what you're trying to do is get to just that weightless point where the front of the board just lifts. Okay? If you try with your head forward and tilted, then it should feel just the same as when your hips are at the front. And that's why we want to stay upright like a filled pint glass. Oop, becomes weightless. So that's the rising nose. Rising nose. Because it's the nose of the board that rises. Following on from that, what we're going to want to do is, that was from the rear, so now we're going to go off the nose for a raising tail. Raising tail. But what's important about being on the front is that you really want to have your shoulders over the board. If you twist, then the board will begin to twist as you lift it. And it is also harder to bounce. So really take the time to put your weight over the wheels, prepare yourself, then slowly lift the back. By again, just lifting this leg. Because there's no weight on the board. It's only the weight of your leg and the muscles that are keeping the board down. Okay, upright, lift the front leg. You can go from the tail to the nose, to the tail, to the nose. And eventually you want to get that shift quite smooth, very smooth. Another exercise that will eventually help, this is kind of a beginner to ollies and pop shoves and other such things. So this time you're going to, instead of having your foot way over to the far end, you're going to bring it in to just over halfway. Shoulder width apart, what's comfortable. Your back foot though is going to go right on the tail. And what we're going to do is a little jump first. Just a little jump, like a hippie jump, but on the tail. So you need to jump off, but you need to be stacked, jump off both feet at the same time, land on both feet at the same time, and bend your knees to catch yourself. Just a little bit. Then eventually what you want to do is, using those first two exercises of loading the back and the front, you're going to load the back and jump off your back foot, lifting your front foot while stacked over the wheel. So it's just a hippie jump, but like a hippie hop off the tail. And you're trying to get the tail, so it'll start off small, but it's like a trick seed. All of the tricks we learn, they're like seeds, and eventually you'll have a trick garden, but each one takes care, attention, time, and nurturing. So, starting as this sapling is, you're gonna jump just off the tail, lifting this foot. Like we were doing in the exercise before, you're just adding it to the little to this exercise. If you are unfamiliar with the hippie jump, instead of from the tail, you can just start in the middle, just a little hippie jump, get comfortable with that, and then play around with shifting your weight forwards, shifting it backwards. And yes, so there are some rather low-level exercises for a rainy day or a lazy day, or to cool down after a skate. But little things like that, little exercises, turn skating into a gym, and you can build the muscles, build the accuracy and balance, so that when you come to skate in your desired fashion, you can really feel the difference of those small exercises and small little things that tidy up areas that might be left unattended, is the intention, hopefully. But also it keeps it fun and means that you can skate in lots of different places, small and large. In conclusion, think about where your weight is, what your posture is, and where you're loading the board, and also where you might want to load the board next, or for the next trick. Once you're comfortable trying those exercises on the soft grass and not moving, it's time to take that on another level and try it while we're moving. So first thing you want to do on any kind of board is the first exercise we do, and I've got a front foot as my red shoe and the back foot as my white shoe, is you want to try neutrally doing it. So without being on the tails or on the nose, between the two trucks, bend your knees, stacked body, in line, and at the moment we're just focusing on this plane, and you want to move your body up to the front, move your body up to the back while you're moving. See what it's like to ride with the front loaded, neutral, and the back loaded. Once you're comfortable with those positions, then you want to transition while you're moving from front to back. Then you want to move on to try those exercises we did while we're moving. One exercise for loading the board at the back is very simply dropping off of something. What you're going to do is hold your stacked body at the back over the wheel and keep it there until the board drops off. It might help to do a little hop off, jump up and down. If you do the little hop, remember to catch yourself with your knees, land on both feet at the same time, and keep your back straight. So, a couple tips before we wrap up. These challenges, they seem small to begin with, but you really want to push the barriers, push the walls. Make sure you take your time, go at a pace that is comfortable for you. Make sure you're comfortable with the things you're doing, and think about what your body is doing, what the board is doing, and what your feet are doing, and that should really help out. So yes, some small exercises about loading the board, which should help with your awareness, balance, and positioning on the board to assist your progression. I've been Joe, the skate coach from Go Skate. Check out the website, goskate.uk. Catch me next time. Cheers, guys.